Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. I'm Ben Hayward with your Solent Sports News headlines. After spending over £600 million in the January transfer window, the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Mykhailo Mudryk and Noni Madueke will look to make an instant impact. Last time the two sides met, Fulham came out 2-1 winners. However, boss Marco Silva believes it will be a tougher challenge tonight.
Yes, of course, we'll be different in certain areas of the pitch with different profile of players as well. I think their idea will be there, even if you know that during the match, and they have the capacity to change systems and to do something different.
Make sure to tune in later at 4 o'clock, where Solent Sports News reporter Dylan Shavas will be live outside of Stamford Bridge. Sticking with the Premier League, it's a tough weekend for those at the bottom end of the table. Fresh-faced Southampton travel to Brentford as they push for survival, whilst Bournemouth also make a trip along the south coast as they take on Brighton at the Amex. Everton will be hoping to turn their season around under new boss Sean Dyche when they take on top-of-the-table Arsenal, and new midfield recruit Jorginho could be thrown into the mix for the Gunners after a knock to defensive midfielder Thomas Partey. Marcus Rashford has been awarded the Premier League's Player of the Month for the second time this season. The England international continued his hot form this season, netting 3 times in January, including a late winner in the Manchester derby. As well as being honoured by the Premier League, Rashford's efforts have been noticed by his own club, and he's also been presented Player of the Month for the Red Devils today. United manager Erik ten Hag says his team won't be disrupted by all of the off-the-field issues. Mason Greenwood had charges of attempted rape, controlling behaviour and assault against him dropped. United play Crystal Palace tomorrow in the Premier League, just weeks after a 1-1 draw against the same team. Ten Hag insists his players aren't distracted.
We have always to focus on the game, no matter what, and that is our job. And that's why we are here. We have a lot to do against them. 2 weeks ago, we had a bad performance there.
Locally, top of the league Sholing faced mid-table Westbury United in the Southern League Division 1 South, 3 tiers below National League. While second place, but with 3 games in hand, Totton host Bristol Manor Farm. On Tuesday, the top 2 will meet in a potential promotions decider. I'm joined with George Venn here. George, do you have anything to say on the games tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously they're facing Bristol Manor Farm, down in 16th place, so it should be a fairly simple game for Tottenham as they're sitting all the way up in 6th. Obviously their sights are going to be set on first place Sholing on Tuesday, and that's the main crash, the 6-pointer as you want to say, and if Tottenham manage to win that game, they'll be 8 points behind with 3 games in hand.
Love it. Cheers, George. Thank you for that. Last year's Formula 1 winners, Red Bull, revealed their new car today. The team led by Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez were dominant last season by beating closest rivals Ferrari in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. And I'm joined by George again here, as he's also into Formula 1. George, you've just seen the car reveal. What do you think of it?
Yeah, they've revealed the car in the last half an hour or so. The Red Bull RB19, as you mentioned, last year's Constructors winners. Not much different, to be honest. You can never really tell much at this stage. It tends to be more of a livery reveal than the actual car or any of the aerodynamics itself. Another date to look out for is Ferrari. The Red Bull's closest challenger there, revealing their car on February 14th, Valentine's Day, which makes sense as it is the day of red for Ferrari. They're the next ones to look out for. But yeah, nothing much to see, just the livery reveal, but Red Bull looking strong going into the next season.
Love it. And how do you think the Red Bulls will do this year?
I think they're definitely the favourites. They've dominated this brand new era that came in last year with brand new rules and regulations and the sport being completely overhauled. They won the Constructors' Championship by 205 points last year with Max Verstappen winning his second ever drivers' title. And I think they're definitely the favourites. And Verstappen, I wouldn't be surprised to see him dominating the sport once again this year.
Thank you, George. Australian tennis star Nick Kyrgios has admitted to assaulting his ex-girlfriend. The 27-year-old was accused of pushing former partner Chiara Passari after she stopped his car from driving away in 2021. Kyrgios released a statement earlier today saying, "I was not in a good place when this happened and I reacted to a difficult situation in a way I deeply regret." In darts, Michael van Gerwen was defeated in the final of the first night of the new Premier League season in Dublin. Chris Hollywood Dobie was victorious, keeping his rich reign of form in the last few weeks, including winning the Masters last Sunday. The Premier League returns next Thursday in Cardiff. That's all from us for now. Be sure to return in an hour's time, but remember you can keep up to date on our website at solentjournalism.co.uk. All the best.